What's going on? What's going on? What's going on? Real Bob Talk family, what's going on? It is your dog Willie Jack, and we are back, baby. It is NFL Week 1 is officially in the books. This is the first Wednesday night recap, man. Week 1 is in the books, and we got a lot of ball to talk, man. I'm excited, can't wait. Like I said, the first of many, man. We only got 17 of these Sundays in the year, man. We got 17 of these Sundays, and we already got one down. So y'all know what time it is. Y'all know what time it is. Sit down, get buckled up, get yourself real relaxed, get yourself something comfortable in your cup, and let's talk a little ball tonight now. So yeah, y'all go ahead and tap in with me, man. I'm gonna let it go a little bit. Make sure I get time for any and everybody to pull up on your dog. And matter of fact, it look like it's more than a few of y'all in the chat already. Go ahead and say what's up to your dog. Y'all know what's going on, man. Go ahead and talk to me. You know I talk back. Come on now. Come on. Matter of fact, when you in here and when you get in the chat, let me know, how your team did. Did you win this weekend? Did you lose? Not only did you lose, did you get embarrassed? Some of these teams out here got done real bad now. Hey, T, what's going on? What's going on? Appreciate you. Appreciate you as always. And I don't know about some of y'all. I don't know about the rest of y'all. But for your dog, it's a Victory Wednesday, baby. We want to know out the gate now. Want to know out the gate. My Steelers did what we had to do. But don't worry, we're going to talk about it. We're going to talk about it for sure. And then actually, you know what? There's a little news, a little excitement going on. I don't know if excitement is the right word. There's a little news and some little happenings and goings on as well in the league. Tyreek Hill gets stopped right outside of his own stadium. Pulled out the car and thrown to the ground and handled aggressively by the local PD there in Miami. Man, over a traffic stop. Should have been, I guess, a speeding ticket, trying to get to the stadium to put on a show. But I saw some of the footage. I didn't even watch all of it, honestly. I'm telling you, it's hard to me even watch that stuff these days, a lot of that stuff. But I watched enough of it to know it was nonsense as always. What's going on, mama? And you know that. Rennie said you wasn't able to get it. The Steeler game? Or investor, you talking about the Steeler game? Sis in the building, what's going on? Appreciate y'all. Appreciate y'all. And as a matter of fact, yeah, you know what? I'm curious to see what happens about that actually. Hold on, let me put the chat on the screen so I don't have to worry about it. Make sure everybody can see what's going on. So mine said, hopefully the justice will be done. And so you know what? Yeah, that'll be a good starting point. We can go ahead and start there, matter of fact. And I'm going to make a little quick summary post about it. So anybody that pops in knows what I'm talking about. Okay, yeah. And so, yeah, the Tyreek Hill traffic stop. And so my mom said, hopefully justice will be done. And I'm curious to see what is going to come of it. I know, I guess we're to assume it was some type of speeding. It was a traffic violation. He's on his way to the stadium. The stadium's right there in the background. He's like around the corner from the stadium. Several of his teammates actually pulled up while he was being, I guess, manhandled, for lack of a better word, and made to lay face down on the damn pavement in the middle of damn Miami Avenue or Broadway Street, style of street. Got Tyreek Hill snatched out of his $100,000 vehicle across from the parking lot of his stadium, going to play ball, laid face down in Miami. So you know the concrete probably down there 100 degrees. Made to lay on his face and all this type of stuff. What was it? 6 officers there on the scene, or thereabouts, somewhere between 4 and 6 officers thereabout on the scene. So definitely excessive, to say the least. especially over what should have been routine traffic stop. If you feel like writing tickets, buddy, if you feel like writing tickets, bucko, have at it. Write your ticket and keep it pushing. But instead, don't make it you've got to impose your will or show who's really in charge. Like, boy, you don't sit your ass down somewhere. Tyreek taxes paying them damn bills. But Tyreek was pretty chill about it, or well, so to say. Like everything he said about he's towing the political line or whatever, so to speak. And so in the little words or whatever I've seen him speak about it, like after the game and the post game, it's just, let's get together and figure out a solution or what we could do to improve relations, that type of talk. So that's what he was, saying. That's the type of things he was saying. I mean, which is cool. There's nothing necessarily wrong with that. He definitely didn't say anything like inflammatory to, stoke or rile any type of other feelings about the situation up. I saw Mike McDaniels, the coach. He was what's the right word? He was probably a little perturbed about it as no other way to say, as a black man and a black coach, though he may pass or appear to be, white or whatever the case. He's a black man. He's a black coach. And so he had shared some thoughts about the situation. Calais Campbell, one of his teammates on Miami this year, I guess he had arrived or came upon the scene on his way to the stadium and seen it and got out and trying to lend a hand or aid or try to see what was going on. And I think he even got handcuffs put on him by definitely over-aggressive, overzealous law enforcement there in Miami-Dade. But like I said, in the grand scheme, of course, neither of them were forced to miss the game behind this nonsense. And then, of course, Tyreek got to the stadium and had a day. Tyreek got to the stadium and had himself a day. So, small things to a giant, I guess. Didn't let him, or he didn't let them, I guess, deter him or throw him off from what had to be done. And that's a kudos to him, man, because I can tell you, like, on the outside looking in, and especially like when we see these type of things, but we don't think like a lot of us have been involved with or stopped or pulled over and involved with police, overzealous police at that. And it really does mess with your psyche. It really does throw your whole mood off, throw your attitude off. I mean, it really does throw you off, especially when they take like excessive liberties with their, quote unquote authority. And so it really does piss you off, and it can ruin your week, let alone ruin your day. And so already kind of thinking about the mindset you want to put yourself in when you're on a way to a game, you know what I mean? The amount of focus you're trying to dial in, you're trying to focus, you're trying to find your Zen spot or whatever it is, you're trying to find that place in your mind or find that mode to get ready for, the game that's about to happen, locking in on your assignments, the game plan. I mean, just all the things that are going on in your mind, and then, to be forcibly snatched out your vehicle, thrown and made to lay face down on the pavement. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's just ridiculous. And then to like get up, have to shake all that off, walk all that off, then go to work, playing ball or whatever. We don't always give these guys credit for what they're doing. He's going to work. This is before he starts his shift. You know what I'm saying? So to have all that on your mind and still go out and perform the way he did, man, it's a credit to his talent, his ability, his greatness as a player, for sure. For sure. And then I've been talking enough about this Tyreek of Miami. I'm trying to think, should I go ahead and just jump into the game? I mean, it makes sense too. It just makes sense too. We're talking about it too much. Let's go ahead and talk about the game. Jacksonville travels to sunny Miami, sunny South Beach, to take on the Miami Dolphins. And the Dolphins end up pulling out the game for sure. So they pull out this W, 20-17. And you know what? You know what I'm saying? Now I'm out of pocket. Now I got to find the right notes because I done moved around a little bit. We got time. we got time. We should have time. There we go. Yeah. So yeah, 2017, big day for that Miami Dolphins offense, man. The stars definitely showed up to play. Tua has a big day, over 300 yards passing. Just the one touchdown pass to Tyreek Hill. Tyreek, like I said, that day started rough for him, but he definitely had himself a day. 130 yards in the air, touchdown reception. Waddle adds another 100 yards receiving. Devon Achane has a good all around day, 100 total yards. Didn't necessarily go crazy on the ground or in the air specifically, but combined he had 100 total yards. Did get in the paint as well, had himself a touchdown also. And so good, like I said, good day for that Dolphins offense as far as the stars are concerned. And on the other side for Jacksonville, not a big day statistically for that offense. Trevor Lawrence only throws for 162 yards, does throw a touchdown pass, no interceptions in this one as well. Rookie Brian Thomas Jr., who's had himself a very, very good summer, and he's just looked, every time I see him, man, he looks damn good. Even in watching this game as well, his route running looks vast, looks very, very much so improved. And also they're not only asking him to do more, but they're allowing him to do more. You know, the role that he played as kind of the Robin to Malik Neighbors' Batman at LSU, we only seen him do, you know, one or two things as the complement to Neighbors. And so, but just seeing his early ability already, man, like this guy's gonna be a stud. He looks good so far. He has a touchdown in his first game, 47 yards receiving, does score a touchdown himself in his rookie debut. And so all told, man, I can't wait to see how that Trevor Lawrence and Brian Thomas Jr. Chemistry develops as this season goes on, and then even into the future as well. Tough day at the office for Travis Etienne, man. Got outshined in his own backfield by Tank Bigsby. I think Tank's a rookie this year. Or is this his second year? I want to say Tank Bigsby's a rookie this year, I believe, or maybe it's his second year, but definitely outperformed Travis Etienne. I wasn't as big of an ATN guy coming into the league when he was coming out of Clemson personally. I think he was my running back 3 in that class, if I remember right. I think I had him behind Javonte Williams, behind Najee Harris. Then I had ATN at 3, I believe. And I didn't have a first round grade on him. But like I said, no, Miami finds a way to get it done, even though it started very uncharacteristic as far as that goes. And here's the thing about these things as well. Because Tyreek's definitely not been the first athlete that's probably been pulled over on his way to the stadium. You know what I'm saying? Like, and yeah, we can. There's a lot of stuff that we can say, but this Tom Brady would never be pulled from his vehicle and thrown to the pavement, and made to lay face first on the pavement in the middle of September, 2 hours before game day in New England. It just wouldn't happen. You know what I'm saying? There's no world ever that would happen. As well known and beloved of a player of Tyreek's caliber, this isn't the 4th string long snapper. You know what I mean? This is the number 1 or number 2 or maybe number 3 guy at the position in the league, depending on who you're asking or who you're talking to. A guy that was just voted the number 1 player in the league by his peers in this most recent top 100 players countdown. Number 1 was Tyreek Hill. This is the guy that got this style of treatment. And I'm not saying that players or celebrities deserve special treatment, but they get it. So I'm not going to talk otherwise. They get it. Whether they deserve it or not, they get it. And so don't tell me that, like, I mean, yeah, that's just ridiculous. Utterly, completely ridiculous and uncalled for. And so I know the officer involved, I think I saw something that said he was maybe placed on some style of administrative leave while they were investigating investigating the ordeal itself. It sounds like Miami PD is looking to. They released that body cam footage almost immediately. The guy was placed, like I said, on some style of administrative leave. Now, I don't know how much deeper than that it will go or that it needs to go, but I am happy to see them moving quickly and not at all trying to what I've seen, to, from my perspective, what I've seen, doesn't it all look like they're trying to, excuse the actions of the officer. And so, like I said, in the grand scheme, I don't necessarily think it warrants a firing or anything like that, but a stern talking to say the least. And yeah, a write up for his overzealous and aggressive actions or nature in the situation or whatever the case. But the good news is it does look like Miami is taking it serious and looking to, you know, assuage public perception, because like I said, these are the type of things that can definitely um, get out of hand if not checked and nipped in the bud immediately. And so kudos there. Now moving on. Let's get back into the regular flow of things here, man. We're gonna start it off with my boys, man. The good guys go to Atlanta and get a dub. My Steelers find a way to get it done. We don't score any touchdowns in this game, and we still get a win, 18-10 on the road in Atlanta. The defense utterly dominant. TJ Watt was an absolute animal. This is the thing about this game as well. The officiating was horrible. That can't go without saying. Terrible officiating. I think we had like a 45-yard completion to George Pickens at the left sideline, called back for one of the worst offensive pass interference calls you'll ever see. Despicable. TJ Watt finishes this game with 2 tackles for a loss and a sack. Mind you, he had 2 sacks and 2 forced fumbles taken away from penalty calls in this game as well. One of them, an offsides on TJ, which has been reviewed from every angle and confirmed that he was not offsides. He was perfectly jumped and timed the snap. He said the referee reviewed the play at halftime, came out in the second half and apologized for him for getting it wrong. And like I said, I've seen every angle you can see. I've seen it slowed down to a thousandth of a second. And yeah, it was, you cannot time the snap any better. And so he doesn't get that one on the stat books. And here's what's super annoying, or just that pisses you off about that. There was a sack fumble that he recovered himself. So it should be Pittsburgh's ball right there, probably on like their 25, or maybe they were in the red zone or just in the red zone. Instead, they get that penalty. They get the 5 yards. I'm not sure if that made it a first down or not. The next play is a touchdown to Kyle Pitts in the corner. Now, this game here didn't have a lot of points scored. That touchdown to Kyle Pitts could have been a difference between a win and a loss for my Steelers here. And that could have happened on the strength of a bad call. And so that's what's super annoying about that. In the grand scheme, I guess it didn't hinder us from winning. Like I said, he dominated this game, damn near every snap in this game. He was utterly unstoppable for the most part there. So we find a way to get that done. Like I said, great game for TJ Watt. Justin Fields makes his first start as a Steeler. Russell Wilson ruled out with the calf injury earlier in the week. And so we get Justin Fields out there to make his start. Didn't turn the ball over, did enough to get the win, so I won't complain there. Next week, going to Denver. This is going to be a big game for Russell Wilson. Denver, of course, firing him and being the reason that he is in Pittsburgh. And so I know Russ definitely had this one circled on his personal calendar. I wanted to see Russ get his revenge in this game against Sean Payton and those Broncos. And from what it looks like, at least early on in the early going, it looks like Justin Fields may, in fact, be poised to start this coming week as well, unless Russell Wilson makes some style of drastic improvement, or is able to convince Mike Tomlin one way or the other that he's in fact ready to go, and Mike believes him. And so, but barring something like that, until we hear otherwise, it's assumed that Justin Fields is going to start this next week as well, going forward on the road in Denver. So we'll see what happens there. Moving on. Arizona goes to Buffalo. This turned out to be a pretty exciting game if you tune in and watch this one. So, like I said, high scoring. Buffalo wins this one 34-28. Josh Allen, Big Josh, gets the season started with a bang, man. 4 touchdowns on the day, no turnovers, 2 touchdowns in the air, 2 touchdowns on the ground. Very exciting game. Kyler Murray, impressive in this one as well. Over 50 yards rushing, only 160 yards passing, but did throw a touchdown. And the thing about this game, Arizona came out on the road in Buffalo, mind you. And this is the same Arizona team last year that they win 3 games last year. Started super ugly. They did their best to compete. got a couple shock wins in there. I think they beat the Cowboys early in the season with Josh Dobbs at quarterback, I believe it was. And so they definitely fought all last year, but weren't a great team. They come out and they jump all over Buffalo. They go up 17-3 in the second quarter of this game on the road in Buffalo. And so I mean they get a very fast start. Buffalo and Big Josh do get a score right there before half. I think Josh Allen runs a touchdown in right there before half to close the gap, so it's 17-10 at halftime. But no, definitely a competitive game. Buffalo comes out in the second half and kind of settles in and does take the lead in this game. Arizona, though, doesn't go away. They stay in this game. They stay competitive. They get, I think this is the first one we've had in the regular season, or maybe even, I don't think anyone scored on one of these new kickoffs in the preseason either, but DJ Dallas, returner for Arizona, he gets the kickoff return touchdown with the new style of kickoff that everyone's been seeing this year. He actually runs one of those back. They also get the 2-point conversion from James Conner to tighten this game up and make it a 28-31 game, make it a 3-point game in the fourth quarter before Buffalo is able to seal this to go down and get another field goal and like I said, put the game away. But definitely an entertaining game. Huge day. Great start to the season to Josh Allen. For Josh Allen and those Buffalo Bills. You lose Stephon Diggs. You bring in rookie Keon Coleman. There's not a big name receiver on this team, and they still find a way to score 34 points. Josh Allen has 4 total touchdowns. Like I said, didn't turn the ball over. I can't ask and I won't ask anything more from my dog Big Josh. And so, I love to see that. Moving on. Tennessee on the road at Chicago. The debut, the much highly anticipated and high heralded arrival of Caleb Williams to the National Football League, making his official pro debut, and it was ugly. It was an ugly game for Caleb Williams. 14 for 29, less than 50%, 93 passing yards, less than 100 yards. Now, no interceptions, no touchdowns, of course, but no interceptions in this game as well. But just an ugly day. They still find a way to get this win, though, 24-17. And that's definitely on the strength of that defense and the special teams. So the defense gets 3 sacks on Will Levis, 2 interceptions. They run one of these interceptions back for a touchdown in the fourth quarter. I think it was Tyreek Stevenson, I believe it was. And that ended up being the difference. I believe it was a 17-17 tie game at this point. Levis throws the late pick 6, and that ends up being the deciding touchdown to kind of seal the game. But Chicago special teams also got a touchdown. They block a punt, return a block punt for a touchdown in the third quarter as well. So Chicago scores 24 points. 14 of them come from defense and special teams. A pick 6 and then a block punt return for a touchdown. And that's how they end up getting this win. And so if you're Chicago going forward, now Caleb Williams, he's special. We've seen the ability. We've seen the talent and ability this far, the flashes that we saw in preseason. So he's got special style of ability. And now we'll see how long it takes before it comes to fruition. So I don't have any doubts that he's ready. He's going to be a star as far as his talent and ability goes. But this was definitely an ugly first start for him. And maybe in the long run, this is good for him because maybe it'll be a little humble pie right there out the gate. Never hurt anybody. And so he gets humbled, still finds a way, the team still finds a way to win. And now I'm anxious to see how he bounces back and recovers going forward. And then if you're Will Levis and the Titans, similar situation to Arizona in the last one. They came out 17-0 lead to start the first half. I think Chicago gets a field goal right there before half to make it 17-3, but it's 17-3 against a rookie QB. Going into the second half, and then like I said, I mean, you give up two touchdowns that you just can't have happen, and it ends up costing you a game. Like I said, the block punt for a touchdown, and then the pick 6 later on, and so cost you a touchdown or cost you a what should have been a victory the way this game started. Tony Pollard makes his debut coming over from Dallas. He has himself a decent day, 82 rushing yards and a touchdown, but like I said, not enough as they do lose the game. Now, next, this is probably the upset. Yeah, this is probably the upset of the weekend. New England on the road against Cincinnati. Cincinnati with a healthy Joe Burrow. We saw what happened when Joe Burrow kind of got healthy, and then they got hot for like a 4-game stretch last season before Joe Burrow ends up going back down again and ended up missing the rest of the season. But for about 4 weeks there, for about a 4 maybe 5 week stretch there, when Joe Burrow finally appeared to get, I guess, get moderately healthy and able to play for an extended period, they were as dangerous as any team in the league. And so now he's coming back fully healthy now, or anticipated to be fully healthy. We're thinking, okay, now Cincinnati is going to, jump back into the team that we saw make that push, 3 years ago, and make it all the way to the Super Bowl before falling short against the Rams. There's a lot of hype and anticipation that this is the style of Bengals team we were going to see this year. And what do you do to open the season? You fall flat on your face at the crib against the New England Patriots. The Patriots, which were probably picked to be a bottom 3 team in the league this season by most people. Jacoby Brissett making his start. They draft Drake May. It's more so been a countdown of how long until we see Drake May play. The thought was that the team was so devoid of talent that it's not even safe to play your rookie in Drake May. So the thought was, okay, they'll go out there, let Jacoby Brissett get beat up for 6 or 7 weeks. Then we'll ease Drake May in, this being a sort of cast off and throwaway year, more so focusing on the health and development of Drake May. Well, then you come out on the road in Cincinnati and you beat Joe Burrow at his house. And so, who knows, like I said, on any given Sunday. But shout out to Jerod Mayo. First game as official head coach since taking over for Bill Belichick. Was a longtime player and a captain for Bill Belichick in those Patriots teams of the early 2010s era as well. So now he's a coach from his hometown, or from his professional pro team, and goes and gets a win, a very impressive win, led by that run game. Rhamondre Stevenson, who signed a pretty decent second contract this offseason with the Patriots, got some pretty decent money. I want to say he got like $9-10 million a year, which is hard to do in this running back market, I tell you. But has himself a day, 120 yards and a touchdown, really kind of pacing the day and leading his team to victory, man. That along with a very stingy performance from that Patriots defense, and they find a way to get a W. Joe Burrow only 160 passing yards on the day, no touchdowns, no interceptions. Jamar Chase held to only 60 yards receiving in this game. And so this is, if you're the Bengals, and especially Bengals ownership or fandom as well, this is what you were worried of all offseason. So Jamar Chase has been holding out all offseason because he wants a new contract. He's been seeing his old rival and buddy from LSU, Justin Jefferson, who came into the league a year before him, set the league on fire, broke all the rookie records, and has ascended to the number 1 receiver in the league. And so there's a very friendly rivalry, so to say, between those two guys. I think it is a little more on Chase's side than it is on Jetta's side because, for one, he was already here and he already made his name as the guy. And he is unquestionably considered the number 1 receiver in pro football right now, bar none. And don't forget your dog who tried to tell y'all first, man. Best in the business, man. Young Jettas for sure. Anywho, Jetta signs a record-breaking receiver contract, $35 million a year, to reset the market that had been set by, before this offseason. I think when Tyreek signed his deal and got $30 million from Miami, I think that had reset the market at that time, like 2 years ago. And so now we've seen a few contracts since then, kind of guys kind of edging over that mark. And then now we see the market completely reset at $35 million. We saw CeeDee Lamb extend a holdout as he worked out his contract with Dallas. He comes in at $34 million per year, but Jettas still has that top spot at 35. Jamar Chase is in his 3rd year, so he is technically eligible for to be re-signed for his second contract. If the team does choose to re-sign him early, they can. But he also technically has 2 years left on his deal as well, and they haven't shown any proclivity to wanting to extend his deal early. And so, like I said, he had an extended holdout all off season. Show up and play ball. Definitely the timing or chemistry or connection between him and Burrow definitely wasn't there in week 1. And so now we'll see, with him not being paid, how does this affect his mental psyche? How does this affect his ability on the field? Because a lot of times players, when they don't feel they have that security of the contract, you can't play the same. Maybe I can't go over the middle this week. I can't go over the middle, Joe. I can't take those shots over the middle right now. You know what I mean? Like I've got an alligator armor when I'm on the sideline and I know a safety's coming for those hole shots. We'll see what happens now that the season has started. Uh, a lot of teams refrain from working out new contracts during the season or mid-season, just because everything that goes on behind the scenes with that. And so the fact that they didn't get it done, the word around the campfire is that Ja'Marr is holding out for a deal that is literally one penny. He wants one penny more than what Justin Jefferson got. So if you can believe that, and I'm not going to lie, just something about Ja'Marr Chase, he has like a little petty look to his eye. You know what I mean? I believe it. I don't always believe these type of rumors, but when I see Ja'Marr Chase, when I think about the way he's always kind of talked or handled or discussed Justin Jefferson when it comes up, because it's been brought up about him and Jefferson for the last few years now, since they've both hit the league by storm. I believe it, and so we'll see how that all winds down or turns out. But to this point, no new deal, and we'll see how far or how long how this plays out for the remainder of the season for sure, and see if this is something that's gonna undermine the Bengals' efforts and what was anticipated on being a very, very productive, not only division winning season for them, but people have thoughts of them being a Super Bowl participant, being in the AFC Championship game, winning it. We've seen Joe Burrow and the Bengals being one of the few teams, especially in the AFC, that can stand up to and beat Patrick Mahomes and those Chiefs, and do it in Kansas City if need be. And so if that team's rolling, they're just as dangerous as anyone, especially offensively. But we'll see how they bounce back from a very surprising, tremendous upset loss at home to the New England Patriots, which, like I said, were anticipated to be a bottom 3 team in the league this year. Moving on, man. Houston goes on the road to Indianapolis and finds a way to hold on to a win, 29-27. This turned out to be a pretty decent game as well, especially punctuated by some highlight plays, thanks by the hands of Anthony Richardson, man. Anthony Richardson is one of these guys, just just an athletic specimen for one. He's built like he's a faster Cam Newton, 6'5", 250 pounds. Cam Newton ran, a high 4.5, low 4.6. This kid runs 4.4. You know what I mean? He's a faster Cam Newton, and probably has a touch stronger arm as well. And it was on display. And so here's the thing about this game here. So. Let me start with the victors. Let me start with the Texans. They won this game before I get carried away. C.J. Stroud makes his debut this year too, off of a stellar rookie campaign. Was Offensive Rookie of the Year, well deserved, and he had even missed the better part of 2 or 3 games with concussion. Still leads the Texans to a playoff appearance and a playoff victory against the Cleveland Browns in his rookie year. So tremendous rookie season. He comes back. They bring or add Stephon Diggs from the Bills to this team, to a young receiving corps that already had Nico Collins and Tank Dell, who both had showed themselves very well last year. So now you add the veteran presence of Stephon Diggs. And so a lot of firepower there. They bring over Joe Mixon, who looked phenomenal, making his debut from the Bengals now with the Texans. So Stroud goes for 230 yards, 2 touchdowns, no interceptions. Joe Mixon carries the day. 30 carries, 159 yards, and the touchdown. So, hats off to you, Joe Mixon, because we don't see that type of workload from running backs anymore these days. That's prime time, out the box from 96 type of production. That's Emmitt Smith style production. Guys don't get 30 carries these days. Not for a long time. We haven't seen that type of stuff for a long time. And so the devaluing of running backs, especially brought on with the emergence of the backfield by committee, there's just not that bell cow back for 90% of the league. Just doesn't use a bell cow back. And even if you have one solid guy, you don't feed him like that. Not these days. And so, like I said, man, this is old school, premium, primetime Emmitt Smith style of football. 30 carries, and he does something with them. 159 yards on those 30, and also gets in the paint, scores a touchdown. Massive day for Joe Mixon. Stephon Diggs making, like I said, his debut with the Texans. Doesn't go crazy with yardage, but does get in the paint twice. I think 2 touchdown catches. I think he had 5 catches for like 35 yards, but 2 of those catches are touchdowns in his debut. So great day, fantastic introduction to the team there. Like I said, if I'm not gonna go crazy yardage, I'm gonna touch the paint. And he touched the paint twice in his debut, so I'm sure he will not complain about that. Nico Collins picks up where he left off last year, goes over 100 yards in this game. And so Texans are looking to build on an impressive rookie coaching campaign last year from DeMeco Ryans and rookie campaign from C.J. Stroud. Now, getting to these Colts, I'm gonna read these stats, and then I want everybody to understand how special this performance, or how special. Yeah, I'm just gonna say how special this performance was, or what it could have been. Anthony Richardson only completed 9 passes in this game. He goes 9 for 19. 9 for 19. It's like 52%. It's atrocious. In completing 9 passes over 4 quarters, he threw for over 200 yards on 9 completions. It's outrageous. All right? It's outrageous. The highlight of that being a 60 or 65-yard touchdown in the air to Alex Pierce. Now, that's special in and of itself. 60, 65 in the air, in the bucket, that's a special throw. There's maybe 4 other guys in this league confidently can go out there and make that same throw, or make that style of throw week in and week out. You know what I'm saying? We've got Josh Allen. I don't know if Matt Stafford still can get a 60, 65. Matt Stafford was one of those guys to see. I don't know if he still got 65 in the tank, respectfully. I'll give you Josh Allen. I'll give you Patty. I think Patty can get it 60. I'll give you Patty. Man, I'm drawing now because, like I said, I don't know if Aaron Rodgers still got 65 in the cannon. Like I said, like Rodgers and Stafford were guys of that ilk, of that nature, but these are older guys now. You know what I'm saying? Like I just don't know. I say all that to say the throw itself is impressive. Now, add the context to the throw he made. He's dropping back. He slips. His knee almost hits the ground. He slips at the top of his drop back, gets up. He's got pressure in his face. He doesn't even get to step fully into the throw. So now he slips. He picks himself up and falling down. He's got a pressure. He's got a D lineman in his face. He chucks it. He chucks it off his back foot, and it's 65 yards on a rope in the bucket for a touchdown. My God, it's week 1. It may be the throw. We may not see a better throw for the rest of this season. It was that special. It was that impressive of a throw, right? He also threw 2 touchdowns in this game. The next touchdown pass he throws is also damn near 60 yards, like 55 yards on his second touchdown throw as well. And then, not to be outdone in the air, he also shows them legs, dude. He gets another 50 yards on the ground, runs another touchdown as well, runs a guy over into the end zone. So it's a 3-touchdown day for Anthony Richardson. But I'm telling you what, that first touchdown pass to 60-65 in the air, off his back foot with pressure in his face, after he just slid and almost did the splits on the field, phenomenal throw. And so very impressive stuff. Say all that to say they still fall short in this one at home. They lose by 2. But here's the thing about this game. And here's the thing about Anthony Richardson. He missed, there was probably at least another touchdown, at least one for sure that's coming to mind. At least one more. I'm not going to say 2. At least one more touchdown and probably another 80 yards worth of passing yards that he missed throwing to A.D. Mitchell, rookie A.D. Mitchell from Texas. They got in the second round. He ended up falling. I guess he ended up having was it a heart condition or some type of medical flag at the combine. He was already a guy that was depending on where you he was a depending on where you sat or how you felt about his film. Some people had him as high as I don't think he was going super high first, but I think I had him as a bottom first round style of grade. He falls past the bottom first and goes middle second. So he's a steal at that point when the Colts got him. Excellent pick. Chris Ballard had a phenomenal draft. There's no surprise or secret to say that. He does that more times than not. So you get A.D. Mitchell, very talented. He's looked very good over the summer. And Anthony Richardson missed him for at least there's 80 yards of receiving and at least another touchdown that they didn't connect on. Like I said, as they work to get their chemistry down, like I said, with the rookie. But imagine if they figure that part out and he's already letting off bombs to Alec Pierce the way he is, and his legs are as good as they ever were before he got injured. This guy has the potential to be, truly something special, truly something dangerous. The likes of what we saw from a young Cam Newton. You know what I mean? Some of the talent and ability that we have seen from a guy like a Josh Allen right now. And so, man, the sky is truly the limit for him, depending on if Shane Steichen and that coaching staff can help rein him in and get him to control, the weapon that is his right arm. So anxious to see how he develops and how that Colts offense unfolds going forward for sure. Next, let's move to Carolina. Carolina goes on the road to New Orleans. Carolina, the hands down the worst team in the league this year. No question there. Ugly football there in Carolina. And if you're Carolina, here's the thing about Carolina. Carolina has had the worst ownership. And Carolina shows the value of ownership. Because Dave Tepper has completely just destroyed any hope. If you're a Panthers fan, my dog Miles in the building, man, he said Carolina is the new Browns. Yeah, man. Yeah. That's a damn good analogy. Because if you were to tell me right now, matter of fact, on FanDuel or DraftKings, what's the over-under on Carolina going 0-17? You know what I'm saying? Like, as bad as they looked last year, and then now as bad as they look week one this year, losing 47-10 to the Saints. The Saints, who, mind you, looked so putrid at times last year, people were calling for David Carr's head from the middle of the season on. They go out there and then they put 50 points on the board. So, yeah, if you had to tell me, if I had to place a bet, if it's more likely or not that the Panthers win 3 games or don't win any, I'm saying they don't win any. If the over-under on the Panthers winning, if the Panthers win-loss total, if their over-under is 1.5, I'm taking the under. I'm taking the under, Miles. If the Panthers over-under is 1.5 right now today, I'm taking the under. That's how bad it is in Carolina. And like I said, man, it's really a show of just how the value of or importance of good ownership versus bad ownership, because that's what this all stems from. So you get David Tepper, and I'm ashamed of David Tepper. He was a minority owner with my Steelers. He should know better. He was trained by the best. All right, he was trained by the best. So I can't believe how poor a job he's doing out there in Carolina. And so the amount of assets that they've just what's the right word I'm looking for? Not swindled. The amount of assets that they've squandered. This is a team that gave away half a draft to draft Bryce Young over CJ Stroud. And then we see how ugly it looks for Bryce Young. And I still don't want to put all of it on them because that old line's terrible. They didn't have any weapons. They still don't have much in the way of weapons now. But even still, he just looks damn bad. He doesn't look like a guy who has ability but doesn't have help. Like, you can look like a guy that has ability but doesn't have help. We've seen what that looks like. He just don't look like he just look like he ain't got it. That's a difference. You know what I'm saying? It's one thing to look like a guy that just doesn't have nothing around him. Because we've seen what that looks like. I remember that first year of Joe Burrow. You know, we've seen what that looks like. We're like, nah, man, that guy's got something, but man, they got to find a way to get some help. Nah, that ain't what Bryce Young look like. Look like he ain't got it. Look like he ain't got it, man. Maybe it's not all his fault. Look like he ain't got it. He only 16 games into his career because he missed 1 or 2 games last year as a rookie. Man, don't look like it just look like he ain't got it, man. Period. Now, on the other side for the Saints get a nice 4th preseason game. Derek Carr, 200 passing yards, 3 touchdowns. Opens us up, gets a big 60-yard touchdown pass to Raheem Shaheed. And then, like I said, those 2 more. Alvin Kamara, welcome back. Feels like I didn't say your name at all last season, not with anything worth talking about. He goes 80 rushing yards and a touchdown in this game. They had a cornerback, Alontae Taylor. I wrote this down. I want to shout him out. Cornerback for the Saints, Alontae Taylor has 3 sacks in this game. Cornerback to finish this game with 3 sacks. So very impressive there. This game was over before it got started. It was 30-3 at halftime. You know what I'm saying? It's 30-3 at halftime in the NFL. I mean, you can cancel Christmas. There's nothing more to say. Nothing more to say. My dog Miles, hold on, what Miles said, man? Miles said he gonna win a game. He said they'll beat one good sleeping team. Shit. Man, look. Unless they got the Fulton Hornets on their schedule, unless they got the University Academy Griffins on their schedule, I don't know, bro. I don't know, man. I don't know, big dog. Because that Detroit Lions team that went 0-16, they wasn't this bad. Shit. That 0-16 Lions team wasn't this bad. That 1-15 Browns team wasn't this bad. Like, I don't know, bro. I'm telling you, I'm trying to think, man. I don't know if they ready for Middle Tennessee State. I don't know if the Panthers beat McNeese State if they had to line up tomorrow. I don't know, man. Valley might got something for them boys, man. That's all I'm trying to tell you. I don't know. It looks that bad, man. So we'll see what's going on, man. Shout out to my dog Chop, man. Wish my dog Chop was in here because Chop made a bold prediction. Said that Bryce Young was going to make his return to greatness this year. Said Bryce Young going to show y'all why that boy was the number 1 pick over Stroud this year. Boy, hey, man. Hey, Chop, man. This wasn't the time to make that type of prediction, big dog. Because I tell you what, man, there's nothing more further for the truth by the look of these Panthers. But, man, we're going to keep pushing, man. Minnesota on the road against the Giants. Talk about the pot calling the kettle black or whatever the case, man. We got bad, we got ugly, and now we got just damn bad because the Giants in the quarterback position are probably the 2nd worst quarterback room in the league. I can't even say that. You know what? We're gonna talk about that a little later. What's the worst quarterback what's the worst starting quarterback situation in the league? The Panthers and Bryce Young, the Giants and Daniel Jones, or the Browns and Deshaun Watson? Because boy, I tell you, it's a lot of ugly football in them cities there. But man, Minnesota goes on the road to New York. This was an entertaining upset style of playoff victory for the Giants against Minnesota just 2 years ago. Giants found a way to steal a playoff win from the Vikings. Like 2 or 3 years ago, I want to say it was now. Dexter Lawrence went crazy in that game. Anyway, Sam Darnold making his start, taking over for Kirk Cousins for the Vikings. And they get this win 28-6. Sam Darnold does enough to get this dub. 200 yards passing, throws 2 touchdowns, does throw an interception in this game. Aaron Jones making the move from Green Bay to Minnesota. Has a very good opening day, 94 rushing yards, gets a touchdown as well. Justin Jefferson, best in the league, the $35 million man himself. 59 yards, gets a touchdown, gets in the paint, does enough. Highlight of this, also, I guess another highlight for this team, for the Vikings, the defense definitely came to play. 5 sacks, 2 interceptions in this game for that Minnesota defense. One of those interceptions being ran back for a pick 6. Then on the other side, Daniel Jones, the $40 million man himself, 186 passing yards, no touchdowns, 2 interceptions, like I said, including one that goes for a pick 6. Just ain't got it, man. This was one that the contract never made sense at all. The line of thinking, it just never made sense when this deal went through. Me and my dog Chop talked about it on our show extensively at the time, and this one definitely came back to bite the Giants for sure. And this is what's pissing was upsetting about this Daniel Jones failed experiment is that it's going to cost a good coach his job. Brian Daboll is a damn good coach, but nobody will ever know it because he's got damn Daniel Jones as his quarterback. Brian Daboll is the guy that introduced the world to Big Josh Allen. This is the guy. That's the guy that reined in rookie Josh Allen, year 2 Josh Allen, and turned him into an MVP candidate. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's the guy. That was his offense. That the best of Josh Allen, the guy that made me such a fan, that was all under the tutelage of Brian Daboll. Then when Brian Daboll left, we saw the effect it had on Josh and that offense for a while until they had to fire the offensive coordinator mid-season and then kind of find a way to bounce back or whatever the case. But Brian Daboll is a damn good coach. I'm still convinced of it. Just the work he did with Josh Allen coming out of Wyoming speaks to that. But look here, man. Oh man, you in the building. I was just talking about you and your Bryce Young take, big dog. Look at my dog Chop in the building, man. I was just letting the world know how terrible Bryce Young looked. And I was reminding the world that my dog Chop said this the year, your bold prediction, he had my dog say this bold prediction was Bryce Young gonna show y'all why he was the number 1 pick. Woo-de-woo. He gonna, yeah. And boy, it's ugly as hell. Boy, that's ugly. Panthers ugly, bro. I was talking to Miles. I said, look here, man. If the Panthers over-under is 1.5 wins on the year, I'm taking the under, Chop. I'm taking the under. I think it's more likely that the Panthers don't win a game all year than they win 1.5, than they top 1.5, man. I'm taking the under. I'm taking the under. For sure. Matter of fact, and now that you're here, I just mentioned this as well. What's the worst quarterback room in the league? I think the bottom 3, hands down, are Bryce Young in the Panthers, Daniel Jones in the Giants, and then Deshaun Watson in the Browns, man, because that's ugly. All 3 of them are ugly. Ugly. Capital ugly. And that's what I'm trying to think, man. I don't know which one is the worst. Nah, I take that back. Probably Watson. Because he's getting like 240 guaranteed. So if the money talks, it's got to be Watson worse. It's got to. And I saw some sport track numbers or whatever on that contract. And man, they still can't. There's no outs. If they cut Deshaun Watson, it's like $72 million against the cap next year. To cut him, it's still $72 million against the cap. And then I think if you cut him the year after that, I seen something like it might be the number jumps from like 72 million to like 92 mil or something crazy like that. Miles said he gonna take Young. Man, I ain't gonna lie, man. The Panthers look ugly as heck. Man, that shit look nasty, dog. But the only saving grace for Bryce Young is that we can still use like, man, he's young. You know what I mean? Like, we still got that kind of built-in out. Like, man, he's young. You know what I mean? We can still say that. Daniel Jones and Watson old as hell. Ain't nothing we can say besides them boys trash. They ain't got it. They ain't got it, man. Call it what it is. They ain't got it. Bryce Young, we can still, if you're a Panthers fan, you can still lie to yourself and tell yourself, nah, maybe we can get him going. There's still a chance we can get him going. Maybe he can still find it. Because he's young, but man, yeah. But I ain't mad at either way. I ain't mad at you either way. The boy 5'9", 170 pounds. I just don't know how much more he's got to give, man. I don't know how much more he's got to give. He gonna be crazy in the UFL though. He gonna set all type of records in Canada. He gonna go crazy in Canada, bro. I'm telling you. He gonna do his thing though. Real talk. Real talk, man. Real talk. Moving on, man. The Raiders go on the road. Jim Harbaugh making his coaching return debut with the Chargers of Los Angeles. They get the dub 22-10. And I'm not gonna lie, this one, me and my dog Isaiah, man. Isaiah, where you at, man? Me and Isaiah had our friendly back and forth on Sunday morning, of course, talking about his Chargers. And I took the Raiders in this game, and I thought the difference in this game would be Max Crosby lined up against the rookie Joe Alt. I thought this was going to be the determining matchup of this game. I thought that Max Crosby was just going to completely take over and wreck this game, giving Joe Alt his welcome to the league style of moment. Like, I thought he was just going to completely dominate him. And lo and behold, man, Joe Alt showed up, man. Showed up and showed out. Stonewalled Max Crosby all day. I think he had like 11 or 12 just true one-on-one pass sets, just pass sets against Crosby. No pressures. And just looked relatively dominant. You know what I'm saying? In his reps against Max Crosby. You know what I'm saying? Max Crosby couldn't sniff Justin Herbert. Or at least not on Joe outside. You know what I'm saying? And so very good showing from the rookie Joe Alt. Like I said, I wasn't super high on Joe Alt, man. He was my tackle 2 by default. But I had J.C. Latham as my number 1 guy, man. I really liked his tape out of Alabama on the right side. Now Tennessee's got him trying to play left. And so far it's been a rough transition for him, to tell you the truth. So I don't know if that's more so about what he is, or like I said, just that change over the left isn't going smooth like they wanted it to. But he was a damn good pass protector on the right, even with it as big as he is. But anyway, I said it to say, Joe Alt, did your thing. You know what I mean? Kudos to you, big dog. I eat my words. Isaiah, you know what I'm saying? He was talking. Isaiah even he couldn't wait to message me on Facebook about it too. Like, hey man, you see your boy out there, whoop de whoop. I said, hey man, you got it, bro. I can't. He doing his thing, bro. You got it, man. They found a way to get the dub. Justin Herbert doesn't do much heavy lifting. 140 passing yards, 1 touchdown, no interceptions. The story of this day, outside of Joe Alt, having his day, having a damn good day against Max Crosby, one of the best guys at the position in the league. But the return of J.K. Dobbins. Shout out to J.K. Dobbins. I was a huge J.K. Dobbins fan coming into the league from Ohio State. I've said this before. I'm pretty sure I had J.K. Dobbins as my top running back in that draft. I'm not even going to lie to y'all. And I think that was the same draft that might have had Saquon Barkley. I think Dobbins came in with Barkley. I'm not going to lie to you. And I think I had Dobbins as my number 1 running back in that class. I'm not going to lie. Saquon at Penn State used to kind of piss me off, man, because he used to dance behind the line. There's nothing that pisses me off more than seeing a 230-pound back try to beat Twinkle Toes. And Saquon had a lot of that at Penn State. There was a lot of highlights as well, but he had a whole bunch of like 3 and 4 and 5 yard losses trying to beat goddamn Barry Sanders at 230 pounds, and he used to piss me off. And I think he used to put the ball on the floor a little bit, if I remember right. But I was probably a little overcritical, but I'm pretty sure I think I had J.K. Dobbins as my number 1 back in that draft. I'm not going to lie to y'all. So I was a huge J.K. Dobbins fan. I was hurt when he got drafted by the Ravens because I was like, damn, now I got to see this dude twice a year. You know what I mean? So injuries definitely derailed his time in Baltimore, and I'm super happy for him. Worked his way back, got over there with Jim Harbaugh. Now Harbaugh, of course, went and got the old offensive coordinator from the Ravens, brought him over, brought Gus Edwards over as well. So it's almost Baltimore West over there. J.K. Dobbins has himself a day, man. Maybe a career day, because I said he's been so injured throughout his young career. But he goes for on 10 carries. Boy only had 10 carries. He goes for 155 yards and a touchdown. Have yourself a day, J.K. Dobbins, man. So happy for you. Glad to see you healthy and back. Back showing the guy that this is the guy that I thought I was seeing when you were coming out of Ohio State. So I'm happy for you. Like I said, I am happy for you. Happy for Harbaugh too, man, making his return to the NFL, getting a dub against a division rival as well. Should have been a stingy, talented defense on the other side, led by Max Crosby. You bring over Christian Wilkins from the Dolphins as well. That secondary was very scrappy. Antonio Pierce had those guys just tooth and nail, scrappy style of defense. They had found a running game with Zamir White last year as well. They let Josh Jacobs go this year. So just didn't at all see that same team that I saw last season. But the Chargers find a way to get this done. The Chargers defense showed up finally. It feels like they've had big name stars on that defense for the last few years, and feels like they hadn't really answered the bell. But Joey Bosa gets a sack and a fumble in this game. Khalil Mack has a sack and a half. in this game as well. And so that defense, the names that we want to hear on that defense, they showed up to play. And then, like I said, very dominant running attack from. We shouldn't be surprised from a Jim Harbaugh team, but he stays true to form, playing aggressive defense, running the ball, controlling the game, and they go get a dub. My dog Chai said, "Nice, see where the Saquon hate come from." Oh, okay, it was Dobbins, Swift, and Taylor. Okay. Okay, yeah, there we go. No, I mean, Saquon, if it was Dobbins, Saquon was number 2. But no, I ain't gonna lie, bro. I can't stand a damn twinkle toe ass 230-pound back. Like, boy, if you don't put your face mask in the middle of somebody's chest and get upfield, bro, I'm telling you, I can't stand that shit, man. I'm telling you, it gets on my nerves. The exception being Le'Veon Bell, because he had true special vision and patience, and he'll still boom your ass too. Now he take his time and pick his spot, but then when he go, he go. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to see that dancing and shit, bro. I don't like that, man. That's not what I like for my backs. I want to see Adrian Peterson, man. I put my foot in the ground and I'm going 60 yards, man. I can run by you, I can run through you. I'm going upfield for 60 yards though, man. That's what I want to see, man. Hey, Chop know what's going on, man. Come on, man. Chop know what's going on. Hey, Saquon had himself a day now. He had himself a day last Friday, though. I give him credit where it's due, man. He had himself a day last Friday in Brazil. Nah, I gave him his flowers. No bias. I gave him his flowers. He balled out Friday. I'm happy for him. I am happy for him, man. I feel like the Giants he was gonna fade away into the elephant graveyard, man, the running back graveyard in New York. So I'm glad he got to get out of New York, and now let's see if he can go ahead and salvage and see what he can do with the rest of his career. Especially with the way, Kellen Moore and that offense look good now. Jalen Hurts look like he's finding his way back a little bit. The Eagles got something cooking, man. He will lead the league in all categories. I mean, well, Christian McCaffrey is hurt. Christian McCaffrey's injured. There's not really a solid number 2. Bijan got held in check by my Steelers. Breece Hall got held in check by the Niners. I mean, so it's wide open. It's wide open right now. He's got a good chance to, you know what it is, Chop. He might get one on Houston Rocket Akeem Olajuwon rings. Jordan had to go retire. Jordan had to take a break for a year or 2. Let the Rockets come in and get a ring real quick. Then when Jordan come back though, you know what it is. But while Jordan's gone, yeah, Saquon maybe can be the guy. Yeah, maybe Saquon can be the guy while Jordan's resting. I ain't mad at that, man. Somebody's got to do it, man. Somebody's got to do it. If Jordan's gonna go play basketball, somebody else might as well, show up and put some work in. So I ain't mad at that at all. I feel you, dog. Moving on, man. Denver on the road in Seattle. Rookie Bo Nix making his debut on the road. And Seattle gets this done 26-20. Big Gino has himself a modest day. 170 yards passing, 30 yards rushing, 1 touchdown in the air, 1 touchdown rushing. Does throw an interception in this game. Man, Kenneth Walker III. Kenneth Walker III is another one of my guys, man. I had Kenneth Walker III as my top running back in that draft over Breece Hall. I had Breece Hall number 2. I had Kenneth Walker III number 3, man. I really liked Kenneth Walker III out of Michigan State. I had him as my top back. And he's been a little injured, a little banged up in his early parts of his career as well. But he's healthy to start the year. Goes for over 100 yards and a touchdown in this game against Denver. And so I'm happy to see that. Anxious to see, like I said, man, want him to stay healthy and see what Mike McDonald coming over from Baltimore, the defensive coordinator. He's got that defense fired up, playing good ball. They had 2 interceptions in this game. The pass rush was there as well. So this Seattle team, quiet as kept, man. This Seattle team, I think, is a team that can, if Mike McDonald gets that defense going the way he did in Baltimore, if he gets those pieces moving around like that in Seattle, man, this Seattle Seahawks team could be they're going to be one of those teams. It's just going to be one of those teams that I think a lot of teams aren't going to want to play. I don't know what I just said. The Seahawks are going to turn into one of those teams that come November, you know what I mean? It starts getting late in the season, starts getting cold. Seattle's going to be one of those teams that nobody's going to want to play. That defense is going to be hitting on all cylinders. Byron Murphy, the defensive tackle from Texas, was a monster at Texas, was crazy dominant in the preseason. He was dominant in this game as well. And so he's already a monster right there in the middle to build that defense around for Mike Macdonald. We know the genius he has on the defensive side of the ball. So this Seattle Seahawks team, man, quiet as kept. I don't know how many the overall wins and losses. Maybe they sneak somewhere around 9, 10, 11 wins, maybe high side. But I think they're going to be one of those teams that's going to be it's going to take every single thing you got to go in there and get a dub. Like I said, once we get to around, we start playing that late October, that November, that early December football, and the Seahawks going to be a team you're going to hate to see on the back half of your schedule. But yeah, no, good win there to get the Seahawks season started. Moving on, we got Dallas on the road in Cleveland. Now, we kind of prefaced this already, talking about how terrible the quarterback play is for the Browns and Deshaun Watson. And this is the thing about it as well, man. Like, me and my dog Chop in here, so Chop knows what's going on, man. We didn't get too deep into his off-field. That ain't my business. That ain't my business, man. You know what I mean? I'm talking ball. Talking ball, I didn't expect him to be the guy who had flashed in Houston, and a lot of y'all had a little bit of revisionist memory a little bit. Y'all went too hard on just where he was at in the league before he left, and then everything happened. He was ascending, but like I said, I didn't think he was quite at that level. I didn't think he had arrived yet, and I feel like a lot of y'all thought he had arrived. Like, no, he was ascending. He hadn't arrived just yet, though. You know what I mean? He was on the precipice of breaking through in my mind and like say, okay, yeah, no, I'm a guy. You know what I mean? But he doesn't quite get there. We knew it was going to be ugly in the early going, or I anticipated it's going to be ugly in the early going. But, man, it looks like he may never get it back. It's gone. Like, it's gone. I'm not even going to say get it back. It's gone. It's gone. There's no more holding out for it. There's no more maybe it's like, nah, it ain't in there, man. It's been beat out of him. It's been beat out of him. And not physically beat out of him as far as just like taking shots on the field. I think what that ordeal did to his psyche, you know what I'm saying? Like just being a pariah just about everywhere he goes. You know what I'm saying? I just think he's burnt, man. I really do. I think Deshaun Watson's burnt. Like it's just too much to deal with, man. He just ain't got it. He ain't got it, man. Shout out to him for getting that bag, though. $240 guaranteed. Boy, they can't do nothing with you even if they wanted to. You know what I mean? But I think it's over for him, man. Man, I'm ready to see Jameis. Jameis should have got a shot in this Dallas game. Free Jameis, man. Hey, Chop, it's time for another slogan, man. It's time for another hashtag. One more. I'm gonna give Watson one more week, dog. I'm gonna give him one more week. He better show me something. He ain't got to be lights out. He ain't got to be Big Josh. But he better show me something. Because it's finna be a whole bunch of free Jameis around this, man. It's finna be a whole bunch of free Jameis around this bit. You hear me? It's finna be a whole bunch of free Jameis, dog, sooner rather than later. Because it's looking ugly. It's looking ugly for Watson right now, man. Yeah. But getting on to Dallas. Impressive win for Dallas on the road. That's still a very talented Cleveland defense that they have. And Dallas found a way to more or less kind of, well, no, I'm not going to say have they way. A lot of field goals in this one. Dak coming fresh off a $60 million contract extension itself. $60 a year. Get paid. Dak just signed an NFL contract. Or excuse me, an NBA contract. Four for $60 a year. That's NBA money. That's a Steph Curry contract. Dak signed a Steph Curry contract, man. Come on, man. Bag secured, dog. Love to see it. Love to see it, Dak. Yeah. Tax the hell out of Jerry old ass. There you go. Only goes for 180 yards passing, 1 touchdown. Zeke making his return back home. I ain't gonna lie. When I seen Zeke hurdle, buddy, hey, that looked like 2012 Zeke now. Or no, not 2012. I'm tripping. What, 2016? Zeke had a flashback. It was like 2016 or 2018, whatever prime Zeke was. He jumped over somebody and had me. Oh shit! Look at Zeke. It felt good seeing saying? Dak and Zeke out there, you know what I'm saying, doing what they got to do. Zeke picking up boys, you know what I'm saying, smacking boys in pass protection. It really felt like 2016 all over again. And so I was happy to see that. Zeke goes 10 for 40, gets in the paint. Kevondre Turpin, shout out to him, returner for Dallas, has a 60-yard punt return touchdown in this one as well. And they end up opening this thing on up, winning this game 33-16, or no, 33-17. But man, yeah, he said that boy got paid and went to work. Hey, man, you think he didn't? You think he didn't? He said Winston will for sure be more exciting than this. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. If nothing else is going to be exciting, if nothing else, it'll be exciting to watch, Chop. If nothing else. Like I said, I can't promise you he ain't going to throw the ball to the other side, but I can promise you he going to throw some touchdowns. That's where everybody remembers them 30 interceptions. Y'all forget the 5,000 yards and the 35 touchdowns. You know what I'm saying? Like, look, man, go ahead, free Jameis, man. Go ahead, free Jameis. Let Jameis air that thing on out. Let Jameis air that thing on out, man. I'm telling y'all, free Jameis. Free the real, man. Free Jameis. Washington goes to Tampa Bay. Jaden Daniels, number 2 pick in the draft, making his rookie debut on the road in Tampa Bay. And man, shout out to Big Bake, man. Shout out to my dog, Big Baker Mayfield, picking up where he left off. Bake said, y'all thought I was dead. They left me on the side of the road. I found my way to Tampa Bay, and now I'm back. I'm balling like better than ever, never like before. Goes for what? Just under 300 yards. No, I'm going to read this full stat line because it's impressive. 24 for 30. All right? 24 for 30. I'm going to do some quick math for y'all. 75% completion percentage. 24 for 30. 290 yards. Just under 300 yards. 4 touchdowns, no interceptions. 75% completion percentage on 300 yards passing. 4 touchdowns, no interceptions. I wasn't dinking and dunking. I'm up the field, baby. I'm up the field. You know what I'm saying? This ain't 5,000 yards of Drew Brees throwing 6-yard slants to Michael Thomas. No, it wasn't 66-yard slants a game. No, that ain't what this was, man. I'm up the field. Hey, Mike, where you at, bruh? Oh, I got you. Take that. Take that. Take this one. That's what Baker Mayfield had going on. I'm happy for him. Like I said, 294 touchdowns, no interceptions. Mike Evans goes 5 for 60 yards and 2 touchdowns in this one. Chris Godwin has a day. Feels like Chris Godwin. I remember my dog Chop, man. He was a Chris Godwin guy a few years ago when Chris Godwin kind of made a name for himself and hit the scene, and then he kind of got quiet for a few years. But he opens up this season damn good, man. 8 catches for 83 yards and a touchdown. Cousin, what's going on? Cousin in the building. I appreciate you. Appreciate you stopping by. Just talking a little ball. That's all. That's all. But yeah, no, Chris Godwin has himself a day as well. 80 yards against a touchdown in this one also. The rookie Jaden Daniels. A lot to build on in this. You know, like I said, so doesn't have a massive passing day. 184 yards. Does throw an interception. But very effective running the ball. 16 carries for 88 yards. Does rush for 2 touchdowns in this game. But definitely a lot there to build on for sure with this young revamped Washington Commanders team. And I'm anxious to see how he develops going forward. I think Jaden Daniels definitely has tons of upside, tons of potential. And so curious to see how he progresses as we get further and further into this season for sure. So keeping it pushing. Yeah, you know what's going on. This the place for you, cousin? Yeah, this the place that you know you love hearing about. You done found the right spot. Go ahead, get comfortable. Yeah, and now this was my game of the week, and it did not disappoint. The LA Rams going on the road, going back to Detroit. All these matchups are just A1, it feels like. And so the NFL knows exactly what they're doing. We got this matchup twice last year, once in the regular season, was it? Did they play the regular season as well as in the playoffs, or was that just the playoffs? Either way, these games, if it's been 2 or if it's been 3, they've all been must-see TV. This one didn't disappoint as well. The Lions find a way to pull it out and get it done, 26-20. This game does go to overtime. And here's the thing. Stafford played I want to say it was a very good performance from Stafford, but and there's been a lot of people singing the praises of Matt Stafford and how he's performed in this game for sure, and a lot of it's warranted. But we overlooking the boy threw an interception in the red zone, in the end zone. You know what I mean? Interception in the end zone, and that essentially could have been the play. That was the play right there that could have been the difference in this game. Because let's say even they don't have to get a touchdown there, but if all things play out the same, and we never know how the game unfolds, things change or things may not don't necessarily happen the way they happen once certain events happen. Damn, that didn't make if that makes sense. Y'all go with me. But what I'm saying is, if everything else remains the same, Stafford doesn't throw the interception in the end zone. Even if they get 3 points, well, that 3 points could have been 23-20, and now instead of losing in overtime, now maybe we win this by 3 in regulation. Maybe. You know what I'm saying? And so definitely was a huge mistake. And then here's what I like about this game as well. When it came down to winning time, when it came down to crunch time, Detroit said, all right, Dan Campbell at Detroit said, all right, enough of this cute shit. Enough of all this. Look, Jared Goff, you know you're my dog. Jared Goff going for 30. I should have put that on a shirt, Chop. Jared Goff going for 30. He doesn't quite make it, but he's going for 30 every Sunday now. You know what I mean? Jared Goff and Amon-Ra St. Brown, they don't really get it going. Amon-Ra St. Brown held in check. Jared Goff throws for 217 yards, throws an interception himself, right? And so that's not going. Now here in this game, what we did finally see, much anticipated and much approved, the emergence of J-Mo, Jameson Williams, baby. St. Louis is very own. You know what I mean? Finally makes his long-awaited explosive debut. Like I said, this isn't his debut, but for the first time we saw what got him drafted top 10, 12 in that draft when the Lions moved up and went and got him from Alabama. 5 catches for 121 yards and a deep touchdown in this game, showing us that explosive ability, that field stretching ability, the things that we've wanted to see from him these last 2 years, to pair with everything you get in the intermediate and middle of the field game from Amon-Ra St. Brown. And now we've been waiting to see if J-Mo could develop and be that outside deep threat that pairs and complements Amon-Ra St. Brown. And it looks like if week 1 is any indication, then they may have finally found that. And so now that only bodes trouble for the rest of the NFC if they can harness that and keep that going. Because Amon-Ra St. Brown's not going to be held in check for the rest of this season like he was in this game. I think he only had 3 catches for like 30 yards, or if that, maybe 3 catches for 23 yards or 3 catches for 36 yards. Something nominal in this game, right? We're not going to see that week in, week out. Amon-Ra St. Brown is definitely one of the more talented volume intermediate receivers in this game, bar none. And so we can anticipate him getting, 10 for 100, 8 for 92. You know what I mean? Like he's going to stay around 8 to 11, 12 catches. He's going to stay between 80 and 110 yards, and he's going to get anywhere from 1 to 2 touchdowns most weeks. And so now having Jameson Williamson show himself to be a viable deep field threat on the outside, like I said, that just makes it dangerous. And then you still got that 2-headed monster in the backfield. David Montgomery being the thunder to the lightning provided by Jahmyr Gibbs. And Thunder definitely showed up and put this game away. And that's where I was going when I said we got to the overtime. And Dan Campbell says, look, put away all that cute shit. All right? Put away all that other nonsense. We got the best O-line in football. We got the best right tackle in football in Penei Sewell. Hand the ball to my running back and tell him get behind big number 58 on the right. And we're gonna take this thing all the way down the field and punch in the end zone. That's exactly what they did. I think it was like 9 straight. Was it like 9? Was it a 9-play drive? Or was it 9 straight carries for David Montgomery to close that game out in overtime? Am I tripping? Or something to that effect. Whatever it was, but I know they marched right down the field, running the ball right down Main Street. Right down Main Street on Chop's Rams, man, punching into the end zone and sealing this win 26-20 in overtime. Oh, he went to Cardinal Ritter? J-Mo did go to Cardinal Ritter. That's crazy. That's crazy. He did go to Cardinal Ritter. I think I did see that somewhere. Yeah, and Sam Laporta didn't have a big day either. Yeah, so I mean they found a way to make it interesting for sure. They definitely did, man. But like I said, J-Mo, definitely explosive. The costly turnover from Stafford, and then that running game kicking in the end, man. And then also Aiden Hutchinson turning up, gets a sack late in that game, gets a very crucial sack. I'm trying, yeah, in the fourth quarter to end the drive as well. My dog Chop said costly, but still the best QB in the NFC. Stafford, let me think about it. Let me think about that, Chop. So if we're talking NFC quarterbacks, okay, we are talking Stafford. Stafford's in that conversation. I think Goff's in that conversation. Stafford and Goff are both in that conversation. Healthy Aaron Rodgers is in that conversation. Now, I mean, we only just seen one game in against, the Niners, but assuming he's going to be healthy, Aaron Rodgers is going to be in that conversation. Y'all can like it, y'all can love it, y'all can hate it. Brock Purdy's in that conversation. I don't care what y'all say, man. Brock Purdy's in that conversation for sure. Oh, damn, I'm tripping, cuz. I'm sorry. Yeah. AFC East. I'm tripping. I was thinking because he just played the Niners, and I, put him on the Niners with Purdy. I'm tripping, bruh. Yeah, so take him out. Yeah, man, good catch. I'm tripping. I was just thinking, okay, he just played in San Francisco. Nah, bro, he's in the Jets, though, AFC East. I'm tripping. Okay, so Brock, Goff, and Stafford, those three for sure. Jordan Love just got himself hurt and was very hot and cold in his debut. Jalen Hurts trying to, still we'll see how this season unfolds now with Kellen Moore, and now they've got weapons again. It's not a bad take. It's not a bad take. It's really not a bad take, Chop. I won't lie. It's not a bad take. It's not a terrible take. It's not. I think this is the year that Brock Purdy finally gonna make y'all all eat crow. Brock Purdy Brock Purdy got my respect, but y'all gonna give Brock Purdy his respect this year. He finna get cashed out. He gonna put together now his fourth year of production, of efficient production, and he ain't gonna leave y'all no choice. But I'm not gonna give it to Stafford when you throwing interceptions in the damn end zone and those being the difference in the game. I ain't gonna do that part either. But it's not a bad take, though. That's not a bad take. I can't lie. Not a bad take. All right, let's see. What's next on the docket? Who we have? Oh, speaking of Aaron Rodgers, Monday Night Football, the Jets go on the road to San Francisco. They lose this game 32-19. Story of this game, Jordan Mason. So C-Mac ruled out, I think, was it Friday or Saturday, ruled out with a calf or Achilles injury in this game. Undrafted third-year running back Jordan Mason makes his first career start in the NFL and has himself a day. 28 carries, 147 yards and a touchdown. And especially, I think, in the second half, really started kind of, like I said, pounding and wearing down that Jets defense, man. And really had a very impressive day, man. Especially, like I said, this type of production, filling in for a guy that's been the best back in football for probably the last 3 years or so, last 3-4 years, probably 4 out of the last 5 years, 3 out of the last 5 years. If he's been healthy, he's been the guy in my book. And so, even dating back to his time in Carolina, if he's been healthy, if he's been on the field, he's been the guy. All right. So you got some very big shoes to fill, and Jordan Mason answers the call. 28 yards, 28 carries, 147 yards, and a touchdown. And against a Jets defense that is no slouch at all. This Jets defense is probably gonna. They're a top 5 defense in the league. I'm trying to I can't name 5 defenses better than the Jets, especially roster wise. You got Quentin Williams up front. You got Quincy Williams, his brother, at the second level at linebacker, and C.J. Mosley still getting to it. You got the best cornerback trio in football. Sauce Gardner, best cornerback in the league. Y'all can argue amongst yourselves. You know, y'all can argue amongst yourselves, man. I'm taking Sauce. Y'all can say what you want to, man. It all sounds good. I'm taking Sauce. Sauce, the best cornerback in football, and then the rest of that room is solid too, man. Around him, Michael Carter, DJ Reed, very solid cornerback room. Top, those three names at the cornerback position. It's hard to find a better three. It's hard to find a better three. Let's say if a team like Dallas has got a very nice two, you've got Trayvon Diggs, you've got DeRon Bland, they've got injuries in that room, etc. But still, that's two. You know what I'm saying? Like, who's got three? Like, who's got three Pro Bowl style, Pro Bowl level corners headlined by an All Pro guy? So you got an All Pro guy at the top of Sauce Gardner. The other two guys are Pro Bowl caliber guys themselves. Like, I don't know if there's a better three. Chicago's got a decent two. They've got Jalen Johnson. They've got the young guy out of Miami. But see, I'm not, and he's decent, but I'm still not even ready to crown him like that. That's what, I don't know, man. I think the Jets got the best cornerback room in football, man, as far as the starters. The guys at the top, 1, 2, and 3, the number 1, 2, and 3 corner, it's hard to find a better three. I'm thinking, bruh. I like Denzel Ward a lot, but Greg Newsome and old boy with the Browns, I mean, they don't really do it for me. Marshawn, the Saints got a pretty decent secondary room, but see, Tyrann Mathieu and Paulson Adebo and Marshawn Lattimore. I mean, Adebo and Lattimore are corners. I mean, they got Alontae Taylor. I mean, I don't know, man. As far as 1, 2, 3 at the cornerback position, I think the Jets got the best room. They safeties are solid. I mean, the safeties are solid. Maybe they don't have necessarily like the biggest name guys at safety, but I'm top to bottom, man. That Jets defense is stacked. I say all that to say, top to bottom, that Jets defense has legitimate guys at every level. They're going through the holdout with Haason Reddick. They do probably need a little more juice off the edge. If there's going to be one critique, they probably do need a little more juice off the edge. But they've still got guys there, man. So for Jordan Mason to do what he did against that Jets defense, that's very impressive. That's very impressive stuff. And so then on the other side, A-Rod making his long-awaited return to the field, 167 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. Allen Lazard touches paint, man. Allen Lazard touches paint twice in this one, Chop. 89 yards, 2 touchdowns, 1 from A-Rod, 1 for Tyrod Taylor in trash time. Breece Hall held in check, 54 yards and a touchdown in this one as well. But this one I think came down to, for one, A-Rod finally healthy again, getting himself back in the flow of things, getting himself back in the flow of the regular season. This is a very tough test on the road against San Francisco. I'm not going to over critique the Jets and their prospects on the season based on a game to start the season on the road in San Francisco. I still think as long as Aaron Rodgers is going to be healthy, this is still going to be a very dangerous Jets team, especially if that Jets defense plays to the level that I anticipate they will. I still expect Garrett Wilson to do dummy numbers this year with Aaron Rodgers. Chopper tell y'all last year, I was all in last year, man. I was all in. Garrett Wilson was going to be the Triple Crown winner last year if A-Rod didn't get hurt. I'm telling you. And so that's still on the table, man. Garrett Wilson, the next one up, man. Garrett Wilson one-on-ones, man. I'm telling you, hey, Garrett Wilson next one. Garrett Wilson's one-on-ones, man. I'm telling you, Aaron Rodgers stay healthy. And that's gonna be dynamite. That's gonna be lights out. So anxious to see what that looks like going forward. But yeah, no, man, hold on, let me see here. Hey, that's everything. That's all the Sundays, and that's Monday night. We didn't did it. What time is it? 8:30. We about an hour and a half in. That ain't bad. What my dog Chop said. Let's see what my dog Chop said in the chat. Hold on. They got 2 tight ends that block like tackles and run rights like legit tight ends. Facts. I'm assuming you're talking about the Niners. Are you talking about the Niners right now with Kittle? Well, who's the other tight end? Unless you're talking about Juszczyk, fullback, utility player. He lines up at tight end sometimes as well. But assuming you're talking about Kittle and Juszczyk, you damn right. Shit, Juszczyk got deep in this one. Got loose in this one. They had like a 30-yard catch at the left sideline. Or something like, the left sideline. I want to say like a 30, 35-yard catch at the left sideline. For sure. For sure you right. Brandon Ayuk, oh, punk ass man. Nah, I ain't gonna lie, man. I like Ayuk. He should have been a Steeler though. But you know what I'm saying? He dropped a touchdown. He dropped a touchdown in the end zone. You know what I'm saying? That's why Brock didn't get a tug because you dropping the ball. But it's all good, man. You know, it's all good. I ain't mad. I ain't mad at you, man. I want you to get paid. You should have been a Steeler though, bruh. Played yourself. Or maybe you didn't. You know what I'm saying? You got 30 M's to stay at the crib. Did all that pouting and didn't even get another dollar more. I'd have thought you at least got another $2-3. Man, you did all that whining and came back and ate your vegetables like they told you to, bruh. I'd have thought you at least hit them for another couple dollars, bro. You ain't even do that. So what'd you do it for? Would you put everybody in the mix for it if you was gonna just take what they gave you 4 months ago? It's a damn shame. That's all right though. That's all right though. And then now, matter of fact, I got some. Now that all the games is done. And matter of fact, if you in here, man, I'm gonna talk about some of my players of the week, man. I pulled 3 performances from this week's slate of games. I pulled 3 performances from this week's slate of games. Guys that performances really stood out to me, or guys I just wanted to especially shout out. I pulled 3, but there's probably room for another 1 or 2 for sure. For one, I want to say Baker Mayfield, man. Baker Mayfield had himself a day. And especially just following Baker's journey the way I did, Baker Mayfield really got it out the mud, man. Was at Texas Tech, became a starter, lost his job to Patrick Mahomes, had to leave, got kicked out of his crib. You know what I'm saying? Imagine coming home one day and your girl got a new wife. You walk in the crib, somebody sitting on your couch eating your sandwich, watching your TV. Your wife look at you and was like, sorry, made a move. And you know what you got to do? You had to pick yourself up. You had to walk from Texas Tech to Oklahoma to Norman. Had to walk on to Norman. You know what I'm saying? Become a starter at OU. Win a Heisman as a walk-on after getting kicked out your last crib. Walk into another team. Become a team captain. Win a Heisman. You know what I mean? Keep them in contention for a national championship. They didn't go to the Natty, but in contention, relevancy. He won the Heisman. Go number 1. Get picked number 1. Go to Cleveland. Look at Cleveland right now. This is the karma of Baker Mayfield right here. We watching it. His name is Deshaun Watson. Because the way they did Baker Mayfield, they won a playoff game. They had a winning season and won a playoff game under the watch of Baker Mayfield. Hadn't done none of that shit in 30 years. Or close enough. Baker gets hurt. Shoulder meat. Torn off the bone, chop. The boy tore his shoulder off the bone. His throwing arm. He should have sat it down. It was a contract year. Instead of sitting it down, shutting it down, healing, getting surgery, coming back better and bigger and better and stronger than ever. Instead, thinks, man, I'm going to take one for the team. I'm going to play. I'm going to play with my shoulder torn off every week. Show the team I'm tough. Be here for the guys. And you know what they did? They went and got Deshaun off his couch. Hadn't played ball in 2 years. Gave him twice the contract they could have gave Baker and kicked him to the side. Man, that's foul, man. That's foul. Baker had to bounce around in Carolina. Look at Carolina now. Matter of fact, everywhere that did Baker bad, they shitty right now. Look what Cleveland did to Baker and look at Cleveland now. Y'all po asses. Look, they had Carolina had Baker running scout team defensive end. Look at y'all po ass now. Ain't too proud to beg. Look at this. Man, that's crazy. Baker had to catch a flight to the Rams, got a playbook downloaded on the plane, got off the plane, suited up, started, and won a game in overtime off the plane. New 6 plays. Man, y'all better quit playing with Baker Mayfield, man. Went to Tampa Bay, took it to the playoffs, beat the defending NFC champs at the crib in the playoffs. Shit. And then he gets paid, starts his season, you know what I'm saying, a brand new man, looking good, smelling like money, and throwing for 4 touchdowns, 300 yards, and 75% completion percentage in week 1. Y'all better talk to me, man. Baker Mayfield deserve all them roses, and I'm gonna give them to you, big dog. That's Big Bake. Put some respect on his name, man. They thought they left you for dead, huh? I got you, Big Bake. I respect it, man. Baker Mayfield, player of the week. Next player of the week. Just talked about this game, but Jordan Mason. The journey, the odds of making the NFL are already 1 in 1.7 million or like 1 in 500,000. You know what I mean? Just to make a roster. That's drafted. You know what I'm saying? This is a guy that's undrafted. The odds of making a team as an undrafted rookie are astronomical. You know what I mean? Even if you make a team on the practice roster, if you're undrafted and make the practice squad, you've defied all realm of possibility. You've made it. You've exceeded your expectation by making the practice squad as an undrafted player. Now be an undrafted player that's found a way to be in the league for 3 years. You've already exceeded expectation. The average lifespan of an NFL player is 3.5 years. Chop will tell you. Chop in here. Chop no. That's for guys that get drafted. Somebody wanted you. We go and get you. We choose you. We bring you in. You might make it 3.5 years. Maybe. Y'all look. If I think hard enough, I can give y'all 3 names right now of guys who probably balled in college that we all know. Now, what is Bryce gonna be here in 2 years? Is Bryce Young gonna be a starter for the Panthers in 2 years? Because that'll be 3 years for him. Will he be a starter in this league in 2 years? We don't know. He's a number 1 fucking draft pick from Alabama, won a national championship, Heisman. He might not be here in 2 years. Y'all don't hear me. So when I tell y'all that undrafted Jordan Mason made his first start in year 3, if he rushed for 50 yards, salute, bro. But he didn't. He went for $150 on the Jets defense. Top 5 defense in the league. Brother Red in the building. What's going on, big dog? Talk to him, man. They don't know what I'm talking about. Talk to him. Y'all don't. We got to understand the context of what he did. He shouldn't be here. He's 3 years in, undrafted. If he's on a practice squad, he's an anomaly. Let alone the 53, he's on the 53. C-Mac finds out he's not going to play Saturday night. So undrafted, 3 years in, a day and a half before Monday Night Football against Aaron Rodgers. Are you fucking kidding me? I'm going to start me? I'm going to start? And what, against the Jets defense? And go for $150 in a tub? Come on, man. Respect it, man. Flowers, dog. Player of the week. Got to. D-Dot in the building. You know what's going on in the nation in this thing, baby. I know you seen TJ going crazy. They stole 2 sacks from my dog. TJ had, as a matter of fact, player of the week, TJ. I'm D-Dot in the building. We're going to add TJ Watt to the player of the week. Because TJ had 2 tackles for a loss, a sack, a fumble recovery to finish the game. They took he had 2 sacks and 2 forced fumbles and another fumble recovery taken away by bullshit penalties. Do y'all realize TJ Watt should have finished that game with 6 tackles, 4 for a loss, 3 sacks, 2 forced fumbles, and 2 fumble recoveries? That was his stat line before the bullshit. Instead, we got to settle for 2 tackles for a loss, a sack to close the game, and a fumble recovery. Still a hell of a day. Come on, man. D-Dot know what's going on. It was crazy. They couldn't touch him. Start to finish. Unblockable. And the Falcons' O-line ain't no slouch. Falcons' O-line ain't soft. Chris Lindstrom is arguably the best guard in football, depending on who you talk to. He's a top 3 guy. Caleb McGree, the right tackle, he just got paid. He just got cashed out, what, year and a half ago? He's a top half of the league right tackle. That right side of that Falcons offensive line is one of the better ones in football. Boy, they got abused. They got abused. TJ Watt, man. One of the players of the week, one of the members, man. One of the players of the week. And last but not least, I would be remiss. I'd be remiss if I didn't give a shout out to my dog, Big Josh. I know y'all can't stand Big Josh, and y'all know I go a little hard on Big Josh, but let me tell you why he deserves it. They got rid of his number one receiver, right? Stefon Diggs. Stefon Diggs, before last year, has been a top 5 receiver in this league for the last 5 years. Terrific route runner. Generally speaking, very reliable hands. Great receiver. Falls off a little bit last year. Him and Josh bump heads or whatever's going on. He regresses the end of last year. They send him to Houston. Who they replace him with? The receiving core hasn't been great these last 3, 4, 5 years, and they've been balling. So then you send him away. Who's left? They drafted Keon Coleman out of Florida State in the 2nd round. You bring over Curtis Samuel, from the Panthers? He's the only established name I can tell you. And if I don't know, who knows? Somebody named Khalil Shakur. I think he's in his 3rd year from Boise State, if I remember right. When did Khalil Shakur come out? I watched him. I watched him. I remember watching him. Me and Chop was watching receivers like 3, 4 years ago. I want to say he came from Boise State. Unless I'm tripping, Chop might know. Khalil Shakur, Curtis Samuel, and rookie Keon Coleman. That's the receiver depth chart in Buffalo. Now ask me what Big Josh did. 4 touchdowns in a back-and-forth game. Arizona came to play. Arizona came to play. They jumped out to a 17-0, 17-3 lead to start that game. Big Josh has 4 touchdowns and no turnovers on the day. You know what I'm saying? Walks away with a dub, man. Player of the week, man. Player of the week. But yeah, man, shout out to Baker Mayfield and Jordan Matthews, man. I got a soft spot in my heart for guys that beat the odds, man. For guys that beat the odds, that's a hell of a story. That's a hell of a story for Baker Mayfield. Y'all better not let Baker win a Super Bowl before it's all said and done. Y'all thought that Kurt Warner shit was special. Working at Gerge bagging groceries. Showing up in St. Louis. Going crazy. Man, Baker got his own little story, man. I'm just saying, man. Baker been through some stuff, man. Especially when we get to look at the other side. That's what makes it even crazy, because we get to look at the other side. We get to see what doing Baker bought you. We get to see what you did with the devil's money, Cleveland. Yeah. How y'all feel over there? DW over there. Embarrassing y'all. It's about to be free Jameis in a minute. It's all good. It's all good. Chop said, I know you ain't like Saquon. Man, what's Saquon? Oh, no. Saquon was last week. See, you wasn't here Sunday. I talked about Saquon's game on the Sunday show. So I already did the Chiefs Ravens game, and I did the Eagles Green Bay game on Sunday show. So that's why they don't count for like this week. This is just, man, you know how we do, man. This is Sunday going forward. Saquon balled though. Nah, I gotta get to him. Saquon had a hell of a day. Saquon did have a hell of a day, man. He really did. I respect it. That, and I think I texted your ass when he made that touchdown catch in the corner. That was a hell of a ball from Hurts, for one, because you got to put enough juice on it. You got to get enough trajectory to get it up and down. You know what I'm saying? And the placement. But Saquon, it was a great catch as well. Because you got to go and get it. You know what I'm saying? He left his feet a little bit. Make sure he got his feet down right there on that front pylon. It was a great ball, great catch. Great ball, great catch. His juice was back. He looked spry. You know what I mean? Looked explosive, dynamic. He looked good. I gave him some flowers on Sunday. I gave him some flowers on the Sunday morning show, on the pregame show. The wake-up show, for sure. I gave him his flowers. I gave some flowers. He don't count for that. That was last week. You talking about old stuff, man. Come on, you talking about old stuff, man. That was last week. That was last week. Hey, man, Thursday night, man. We got football tomorrow night, man. Buffalo on the road against Miami. I'm taking Buffalo to get the dub, man. Y'all know what's wrong. Y'all know what's going on. It should be an entertaining game. I feel like more times than not, Buffalo just has Miami's number. And no better evidence than this than last year's playoff run. Buffalo went from out the playoffs to the number 2 seed, and Miami fell from the number 2 seed to the number 7 seed. And this was all on the strength that Miami couldn't get past Buffalo, even at the crib. At the crib with the season on the line, essentially, because you lost that game, you had to go play Kansas City in negative 30 degrees. No, you didn't have a rabbit's chance in hell to win that game. So you couldn't exercise that demon at the crib back then when all the marbles on the line. I ain't going to take you now. I'm taking Buffalo, man, on the road. Give me Buffalo 28-23 to get it done. Much in the way Big Josh and Buffalo just won a competitive and entertaining Cardinals game, man, I expect more of the same. Big Josh gets it done on the air and the ground per usual. Maybe we see Keon Coleman get in the paint. Let me see what Keon Coleman does when he's lined up against Jalen Ramsey, man. Big physical guy in the red zone. See if he finds a way to get a red zone touchdown against Jalen Ramsey. That's what I want to see. I want to see them red zone matchups with Keon Coleman and Jalen Ramsey. That's what I'm looking forward to in this game. D-Dot know what's going on. 2-0. Hey, yeah, we got Denver, man. Hey, you see, it's looking like Fields is gonna start week 2 as well. Man, I'm not gonna lie, man. I wanted this for Russ, man. I wanted Russ to go back and kick Sean Payton's ass. Smile in his face and tell you, thank you for letting me hold them 40 M's after he just dropped 250 and 3 touchdowns on his dumb ass. That's what I wanted to see happen, but look like it's gonna be Justin again, man. But I ain't mad about it, you know what I'm saying? I do want to see, I think there's potential for Justin to be explosive. The officiating in Atlanta screwed him, really, because he had a 50-yard pass at the left sideline to George Pickens. George Pickens was terrorizing A.J. Terrell damn near all night. It was one of the worst OPI calls you've ever seen in your life. It was terrible officiating. So they robbed 50 yards or so from Justin Fields and George Pickens for that matter. You know what I'm saying? But I do. I want to see. I'm hoping it's going to be a little smoother for Fields and that offensive line this next week in in Denver. Because officially, they didn't officially make Justin the starter until I think like that Friday or Saturday. So now going into the week, all week, we know he's the guy or anticipate to be the guy. For all the reports I've seen that said it's Justin Fields, unless Russ makes some type of miraculous whatever, or just Mike, has a feeling about it or whatever the case. But barring something unforeseen, is going to be Justin Fields this weekend in Denver. So hopefully he gets it done, man, on behalf of Russ, if Russ can't get it done himself. But yeah, hopefully we put it to them boys. And I tell you what, D-Dot, number 1 in the North, baby. Only AFC North team with a dub. You feel me? Come on, man. Number 1 in the AFC North. Only AFC North team with a dub. Come on, man. But yeah, hey, that's it, man. Y'all know what's going on. Recapped all the Sunday games. Got on my soapbox a little bit in the player of the week, man. Shouting out Baker Mayfield and Jordan Mason, man. But they deserve it, man. Like I said, guys that really had to get it out the mud. Especially a guy like Jordan Mason. I'll tell you, man, that undrafted journey is special. Listen to Ryan Clark talk about being undrafted. You know what I mean? And just every year trying to just make the team. You know, he was a starter for the last 8 years of his career. But listen to him talk about it. You know what I mean? Like, it's a different world, man. It's a different world. Especially for these, even from a guy's a back end, a day 2 guy versus a first round or a first or second round guy. You know what I mean? Like, so man, I'm telling you, it's a special thing to see a guy like a Jordan Mason go out there and perform when given the opportunity that he's got. You know what I mean? So had to give him his flowers, man. But yeah, no, that'll do it, man, for the day. That's the nice show, man. That's the nice show. Now, I see a lot of y'all in here, man, tapping in, fooling with your boy. You know, I appreciate the love. I appreciate all that. But do your dog a favor, too, man. Hey, y'all gotta show some love to the YouTube, man. Go subscribe to the YouTube page for me. Drop a like on the YouTube video. You know what I'm saying? I appreciate it. I need all that, man. I need all of that. Y'all know what's going on, man. Run it down real quick, man. Shout out to the fam bam. Hold me down as usual. Appreciate y'all. Auntie Mon Deuce came in the building for sure. Baby sisters in the building. Appreciate that. My dog, man. My dog Miles is in the building. Appreciate your homeboy. My dog Chop in this thing. Come on, man. Know what's going on. My dog D-Dot in the building. My dog, Brother Red, man. Joseph Kenny came through, man. Shout out to No Vultures, the podcast, man, for sure, man. Appreciate all the love, support. And then, hey, man, the rest of y'all, man, y'all know what's going on, man. Y'all can say it with me at home. I'm going to say the same thing. If I forgot to say your name, damn, my bad. But charge it to my head. Don't charge it to my heart because you know we thinking about you, big dog. I appreciate all the love, support as always. Matter of fact, I'm going to have one more for y'all, man. Appreciate y'all. Week 1 is in the books. Hope y'all had as much fun as I did, man. Not only watching football, but getting to come in here and talk about it with y'all right here tonight. Can't enjoy myself, man, as always. I will be back, man. You know what's going on. Sunday morning, man. The Sunday Fun Day Wake Up Show, man. Tap in with your dog, man. Sunday, 10 o'clock. Get into the games, man. Pre-game show like you ain't seen before. You know what's... Oh, that shit rhyme, Chop! That shit rhyme, boy! Pre-game show like you never seen before. Come on, man. Come on now. Tap in with your dog. Sunday, 10 a.m., man. Let's have a lot of fun. Let's break down these games. Man, if y'all was here last Sunday, you seen me and my dog Isaiah, man. We had our little fun bicker, little fun back and forth as we tend to do, man, talking about Justin Herbert. But you never know what we might get into, man. So tap in with your dog Sunday, 10 o'clock. Do not forget, before y'all get out of here, man, go subscribe to the YouTube for your dog, man. Drop a like on the YouTube for your dog. And if you're feeling the way, leave me a comment, man. Let me know where I got it wrong or where I got it right in the comments as well, man. You talk to me. You know I talk back. Until Sunday morning, 10 o'clock, I will see y'all. Y'all have fun. Be safe. Peace.